All right, looks like we're on. I'm in a different location to normal on different computers, so still working it all out. Thanks everyone that's already jumped on. I know I'm a couple minutes early. Story of my life. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on. And one thing I do really like about the when people do live feeds is the chat, and people can just get on there and have a good chat, whether it's got anything to do with what the people are on the live feed talking about or not. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Thanks, Mark. As I said, I usually have headphones and everything in, so this is new. One thing I have noticed, though, I don't know if with StreamYard, if you want to go 1080, which is full definition, you've got to pay for it now. So it's a little bit blurrier and the camera is not as great. But anyway, hopefully I won't freeze up. I don't think it's a Starlink that makes my camera freeze up. I think it's the camera, how I've got it set up. All right, we've got Buck on, Chris Anderson, Nomadic Yowie. We've got Marky Lavelle. Yeah, had 6 on Saturday night. I only had 1 the other night. I'm trying to keep them for a special occasion. We've got, oh gosh, even the comments here are going quick. The lovely Brad and Mary Howe in the background there. Going pretty good. Actually had a pretty decent Monday, even though I don't know about you guys, but it was blowing its ass off here last night. Between that and we're cutting out the weaners from their mums, and so they were mooing all night behind the house, so I did not get much sleep. That was fun. Got the chef himself. Not blurry. Awesome. I was going to try and contact you and Jason this afternoon because I'm just about to camp, but just run out of time, and I'll just have to tell you the information tonight. Whoop. Yeah, you go quick. Usually I don't have this many people on. Jamie and Karen Fulton. Where are you guys back home now? You're still traveling? Where's my brother? Here he is. Hey, Lukey Reed, are you back home or are you still traveling? Last time I heard you were near Tamworth. That was at least a week ago, I think. Greggy Campbell, another legend, another local legend. Hello, Campfire buddy. You're putting out some good videos too. There was that one the other day of Bob something or other. That was interesting. Hello, Victorian or Northerner to me. How you going, Ed? That was a good little video of Robe that I watched earlier today too. Hello, how you going? Now, I'm pretty sure you're not far from Newcastle, are you? I can't remember which direction, whether you're south or a little bit west. Hello. In what vehicle did you guys have? You had the black FJ, didn't you, Jenny? That was a cool rig. Hey, Lee. Hello, Oliver family. How you guys going? I bet you you slept well when you got home. You guys would have been knackered. Hello, Mr. Asa. How are you? Gosh. When on Facebook, when the photos come up, when they're in the feed, they don't show the full photo. And I'm thinking, oh, probably just as well it was from like above the waist. But then when you click on it, he did well. That must have been at the start of the meeting, I think. What else? Terry, congratulations too. You just went past 500 subscribers, and now you're well past it. You're going to be up to 1,000 before you know it. Yeah, I really liked your camper setup too, that trailer. I haven't seen one like that before. Like I've seen a few online, but I haven't seen one of those in person. So that was really cool. Hello, how are you? All righty. Gosh, I'm already far behind. Hello, Rob. How are you? So I really enjoyed catching up with you at the event. I'm looking forward to the next time where you don't have to be running around as much and catch up with you a bit more. I really enjoyed it. Alrighty. I do have a few special guests. Just give me a moment. We'll have to see. They've been moving position. We've got Scruffer Cam, except for one decided to turn his head. They're a bit sleepy. They've had their dinner. But I'll get them moving in a moment. I only have to say the first sound usually of, one already knows what's going on. When using these type of things, one's already aware. Oh, no. Scooby Snacks. You probably won't see one of them for a while now. He likes to go and have his Scooby Snack somewhere else. I might get more later on. So I'll jump back to them once they're back in their beds and had their net. Can't actually say what they are anymore. We just have to say net. Otherwise, they catch on. They'll be coming right back to my feet. I bet you, waiting for more. In your bed. Get one later. Lay down. There we go. So I got Ollie. A few of you have seen before. I got Ollie the brown dog, and the nester here is Archie. It's funny, he's always been a nester, and the other one, I don't think I've ever seen nest. He's the younger of the two. You think he might have copied the other one. All right, I'll come back to them shortly. I'm probably going to duck in and out of the comments a little bit. Let's try to see someone new. Amphiz. No power here at the moment in Northern Victoria, waiting for it to come back. Want to finish milking the cows. There you go. If I see someone new jump on, I'll try and highlight them as well. Speaking of power outage, we were pretty lucky here in Tassie from those earthquakes the other day. We didn't lose power, but our neighbours, just in the next village, from that earthquake, they did lose power. We actually had a few earthquakes from, I think, Friday. We had a big one. It was 5.0. And then we had a couple overnight that were high 2s, low 3s. And then Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember which day it was now, there was one at 4:30, which was a 4.5, I think, 4.5 or 4.7. A few buildings around here have got big cracks in them. So I don't know. We've had a lot of rain lately. Whether that affects the soil enough for an earthquake, whether it makes it better or worse, I don't know. Yeah, so 5.0. So those people, and there's a few Newcastle people here that will probably hear for the Newcastle one. I think it was 5.5, but correct me if I'm wrong. It was before I was born. And yeah, that did a lot of damage. And this was 5.0. And I was just thinking, I've been talking to a few people lately, and no one can really remember there being earthquakes since the Newcastle one, which I think was 87, 89, somewhere around there. But then in the last 2-3 years, we've had quite a few smaller ones. And now we've had a couple that are bigger. 5.4, Michael Bell said. So yeah, it's getting up there. And the fact that we had a 5.0 and then a 4 point something within a couple of days, and they were right in the center of our mine. So I was talking to Rochi, who works in the mine, right where I don't think, it didn't happen in his mine, but in the same area. And I said to him, do you have an earthquake procedure, like a drill or anything? He said, no. So I wonder whether that's something that will come into play. I know that the school that I worked at, we had to close the library and the NPC due to cracking in the NPC. They joined together, the two buildings. So it's kind of like, well, and by the time it got to where I am, it was a lot less than 5.0. 5.5, yeah. So we're not that far off it. Got Rob there talking ahead. All right. I'm just going to pause the doggies since they're asleep anyway. And there's just a couple things that I was wanting to talk to, mainly about the Newcastle Hunter camping trip we've got coming up. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Legends trip. I was actually going on before trying to find photos to put in just a little slideshow to talk about. And there were that many photos I couldn't actually choose, and it got a bit overwhelming. So I didn't really choose any in the end because it just felt like I'd be going through a massive photo album. Yeah, let's hope there are no larger ones. One of my teachers, like who's in the same staff room as I am, she's got 5 cracks throughout her house. So she's got the insurance coming through. Yeah, not something we really think about. All right, a few things I wanted to go through, and I know I'll miss some. It's a Monday and I'm a bit brain dead. Oh, quickly, what I was going to say before I start too much, probably this Friday, maybe Saturday, I'll be doing another live feed with a special guest from the community, if all goes to plan. And I'm hoping to do a lot more of those just with people from the community. Because one thing I really realised that I have enjoyed from the last couple of camping events was just talking to people, finding things that you have in common and just learning new things. I'm actually going to get to that in a moment. I've got a couple of photos because I was actually dealing with that yesterday. All right. So first of all, thank you to all the people that organised the event. I think you couldn't have really got it any better, and the weather was spot on. Before it and after, the weather was pretty ordinary, but the actual 3 days and then the extended week, really, weather was spot on. All the organisers did a hell of a good job. You could tell by the end of it, whatever the Sunday night, when they could finally relax a little bit, they were knackered because they'll just go, and a lot of effort to be putting in, and then it all happens probably really quickly for them. Bit of a blur, and then they finally got to sit back and enjoy it. I think one thing that was really good, one thing that was really good about this event for me that I learned from the last one up in Harvey Bay is I gave myself more time so I could actually didn't have to rush the driving as much. I could go around and meet people a little bit more. So I really enjoyed that. And the result as well, as far as the charity side of things, to get that much, I thought in the early days, I thought, if we got to somewhere like a 15,000, that would be pretty good. And then as things went along, I thought, we might crack the 20 and that would be awesome. Never did I think we'd get up to 30, and then we've even gone past that. That's pretty good. And I know there's a lot of sponsors that contributed to that, but at the end of the day, the majority still came from the people within the community. And I know I've said this a few times, but the fact that we've got cost of living really hard at the moment, and people have already spent a lot of money to get there, and then to still raise that amount, that's pretty impressive. I had good fun with that. I was probably a bit like Buck when that came up. I was like, what the heck? That sounds a bit lame or something, but it was actually really good fun. And I think that's one of those things that it is what you make it. Like I tried my best to get that tent erected, but I still, even though we didn't win the prize, which I don't blame Phil and Lukey. We're still on speaking terms, but yeah, it was good fun. All right. I was just going to quickly talk a little bit about the map. I wish I could. All right, I can't see your comments that well at the moment because I've had to zoom this in a bit bigger. It's funny, even though you had the map there and Rob, the Wanderer, did his walk around, I still, for some reason, didn't fully expect it to be the way it was. I sort of thought, oh, it'd be more spread out, which it wasn't, which was good, even though it was still a big campground. Phil is trying to work out what went wrong. We tried our best, and our best might be just a bit different to everybody else's best. Yeah, Wixie, I think tonight, I was thinking, like, oh, do I get a couple drinks for tonight to do the live feed? And then I'm like, do you know what? I think the liver might need respite. I have gone through some alcohol this month. I think I'm up to like, there's a 2-week period there during the event and just leading up to the event, during the event, and after. I think I went through about 6 or 7 bottles of rum. And some of that was shared with other people. But I'm like, so just quickly going over the campground. So I was at Frilly, I think I was supposed to be booked in the Frilly 3, and there was a little bit of confusion around with who was camped where. But luckily the campsites were really big, and I got to jump in with Trev Kelly. Not jump in like how I jumped in with Lukey and Phil. Like, don't get me wrong, but for $5.99 a month you can see that. But no, just we shared a site. Yeah, my best friend was Captain Morgan. Got me through some tough times. Yeah, thanks, Brad. You did contribute to that. It was funny. I got back home and I helped out a friend. She's like, "Oh, here, I heard that you drink this." I'm like, "I've got 2 bottles at home already open, but okay, it's gone now." Yeah, so Trev Kelly, he let me camp next to him, which is good, but there's still plenty of room there. I really like Trev Kelly's setup too. It's really simple, but it's good. Behind me was Brad and Mary Howe, who, just to make it clear, I didn't cook them the T-bone steak. They cooked Trev and I the T-bone steak from the butcher, and it was really good. It's huge. But yeah, no, it's good. Had Susie Ellen next to me, and then over in, I think you guys must have been at Emu. You had the Asses, Campbells, Newy Joe and his son, Les and Gary Pye were over that way too. And I'm sorry if I forget someone. Oh, the other thing too, next to Trev Kelly and I, we also had Freddie Boots. It's dead set, like, you could have just thrown a dart and you would have hit someone that you knew. It was awesome. Had Pirate next to the house. That was pretty cool. Especially considering I didn't even know about Pirate, and now I do, and he lives just a couple streets over, so to speak. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him. Over towards the creek, I know that there was Wixie, Dale, Fulton's. Were you over there too, Yowie? And then Jenny and Gary, and I'm sorry if I get your names wrong. Cameron, I think the Swaggin sisters were there. And then Mud Ducks were there as well. But it really was everywhere. There was someone that you knew or you recognised their name from the chats. There was a few newcomers that I also met, which was really cool. And I know that they'll be a lot more involved in the chat online as well. Yeah, North Warwick, hey? That was, I tell you what, I don't think I would be that keen taking a big caravan across that creek. It was a bit of a tight turn, that one, but some people managed to do it, so good to them. They did well. Yeah, it was good over there, though. You had a lot more open space, which is good. I'm just going to have a moment here to catch up with the comments in case you're calling me a dickhead or something and I can throw shit at you. Oh, also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm just going to quickly go back to this poll. I was thinking about this the other day. 24 people voted, and so 83% did go camping as a kid. Yeah. I'm actually surprised myself considering the state I was in most of the time. That's because everyone was good people, so it's all worth remembering. Yeah, but far north Queensland, just send them all the way over there. I hit yes because there was no shit. Yeah, confusing. All right. Best part for me was setting up my camp for the first. Oh, don't you start an update on me? Thank you. Best part for me was setting up my camper for the first time and having Buck, Roz, Gidgy, and Rafa and special guest Lukey Reed as my neighbours. Special mention to Mark. Also, last name escapes me. Yeah, I can't remember either. It's tricky when people have nicknames and that as well. And even though that knew his name's not Joe, I still have to remind myself his name's not Joe. Pretty much. I really enjoyed it though. I was telling people when I got back home, Hopkins. There you go. When I got back home, it's the first time since I've actually been teaching. So I think I'm in my 8th year now, where I've actually gone a few days or even a day where I haven't thought about my job. So even like during this 6-week holiday that everyone says that we get it over the Christmas summer break, even Christmas Day, I'm thinking about my job. So it was the first time ever that I haven't thought about my job. Really needed it. It was good. Hey Ron, hey Lenny, we're just about enough to see you in Tassie. You were just I just saw your photos of it. I think was it Echuca? That's a cool place. I haven't been there since I was a kid. The paddle steamers and that. They're cool, those little. A lot of people wouldn't see that stuff, I reckon. They would just stick to the coast. Bob asked the New South Wales version of Steve Irwin, the way he handled his red belly black snake was outstanding. I love the was it you tagged it on the back of Buck or something? So when he was walking on, it was following him. That was hilarious. Just about close enough. Yeah. Work can wait, mental can in health first. 100%. Yeah. Oh, let's go back for a second. Yeah, so just quickly with the camp, if I wanted to do a full recap, it'd go on for ages. I'd be probably pushing Phil's 4-hour live feed. That was your snake. Better put it up, otherwise it sounds a bit odd if I just say that. That was heaps good. I couldn't really choose. I can't remember who put it up on Facebook. They said, say what your 3 favourite moments or funniest moments and stuff like that. It might have been Rob. And I am struggling to think because it was all really good. I think for me, the best thing that I enjoyed, even though I enjoyed the whole thing, was probably I really enjoyed the Thursday night and the Sunday night when it was just relaxing around the campfire. And you just went around, got to know each other, and that was really cool. But yeah, all the other events and that were happening throughout were really good. I went into town twice, I think, and then I went across the road to the Ostrich Longneck Farm. That was cool. Cool building that they've got there. I would have loved to seen that pizza oven go. Really like watching Buck's tribute and shout out to Fisherman Fecky, straight from the heart, and a great message, mate. Yeah, that was really good. Definitely hit home for a lot of people in different ways. And it was a good reminder, but also a good tribute, as you said there. And really good that we did get that on camera. So those people that didn't make it to the event still got to see it. And it was good seeing Buck and Terry do that when they went out to Surat. Sorry if I got that one wrong, but and they did their other tribute too. Yeah, Rob's saying, yeah, last night is always the best. How are your female cousins going, mate? That was hilarious, that photo that you did. I was a bit confused though when I wasn't sure when Naz kept mentioning about the redhead, whether he meant herself or whether he was talking about me as the redhead. Swaggin' Sisters. Evening all, only just saw this was on. What did we miss so far? Not a lot. Just talking shit, really. For those people that have just come on, all I'm going to do is, I've almost done now, is just a quick recap. Actually, since the Swaggin' Sisters are on, let me just, they might appreciate that. One's half asleep. What was I saying? Bloody goldfish moment. Oh yeah, I was talking about the event. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the next camp up that a few of us are doing. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the whole event. It was really good. Glad that the weather was spot on. A couple of nights got a bit cold, but it was much better than what it could have been, considering what it was a few days beforehand or weeks before. All right. It's still funny because before I went to the event, I was trying to explain to people the type of event that it was, because I don't think there's any other events really like it. I don't even know if there's many. If you take the charity side away, I don't know if there's really any camping events. Like I think you've got the Monday in Big Red and that, and there's like the Millmerran Camp Oven Festival type thing, but it's not the same with that community. I don't think. Not that I've been to them, but I think it's quite the same. How people come together like that, and you get a chance to. It's a lot of people, but it's not too many that like you can still get to meet everyone. Yeah, I think when it all comes down to it, that's the best part. And like I was saying before, trying to explain this type of event to people, they don't really get it. And I was trying to explain it to people beforehand, they didn't really get it. And then I went and experienced the same thing again with meeting everyone. Everyone's friendly, no idiots. Well, I shouldn't say no idiots, no dickheads, maybe. And then you come back and explain and they don't get it. So I think we're really lucky. Hey, Richard. I think we're really lucky to be part of what we're part of as well. Yeah, Jamie's saying there it's nothing like the Legends Camp. But I guess there's nothing really wrong with that. It's a completely different type of event. I guess more my point is there's not really events like this camping. Like small people go and camp together, but it's usually you're camping with people you know. Whereas this is heaps of people you don't know from random places. Yeah, certainly does. And that's what we're going to get to in a moment as well with this next camp. The best part of the camping event, it wasn't full of dickheads, just really good people. And it's funny because like I've been to a lot of Land Rover events, similar size, much bigger, and you always get dickheads. Heaps of good people too, don't get me wrong, but you always find a few dickheads and people getting their ego up and all that sort of thing. But it's funny that you can get this many people and everyone just gets along. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and I think that's it. It's funny, isn't it? Like you try to explain it, people don't understand it. And in a way, that's quite sad. They don't understand it or they don't experience it because it's without a doubt in the last, like I've only done the Harvey Bay one and this one, they're the highlights in the last few years, those events. Even the Victorians were good people. Bloody Northerners. All right. I was just going to quickly go through what I had on the back of my trailer, and then I'm going to get straight into this next camp up. So I'm going to have to put them on the side. So for those people that saw, because quite a few people came up and I said, oh, what's that on the back of your trailer? So I had a Land Rover chassis and firewall. It's a 1954 model. This is the one I've got back home. This is my great, give me a moment, great uncle's Series 1. So it's been in the family since new. They were our neighbours. And I got that as my 30th birthday present. The only thing is, because it's been through lots of creek crossings and cow shit everywhere, the firewall and the chassis were quite rusted. Probably a bit beyond the point of repair, so I just went and found another one up near Goomburra. I combined that with my trip since I was going north and picked that up. So at some point, this will be getting swapped over, and that will be going on. Yeah, it is pretty special. Yeah, there's another little one in the background there. This is yesterday. Dad and we just moved it from this old shed, which is about ready to fall down. It's an old slab shed, as you can see, into another shed. And whenever you try to do anything, the cattle always come out. And they don't move, get out of the way. They're like, no, we've got front row seats here. We're in the mosh pit. We're seeing what's going on. Yeah, we had we've got a couple little slab sheds still. We had a really cool old one. I have to find a photo one day, Rob. And it was an old tobacco shed, because that's what they used to do in the mid to late 1800s. And so it obviously over time changed from a tobacco shed into just a hay shed. But it's a cool old building. And where that tobacco shed was, that's where I'm hoping to build a house from timber from the property. Yeah, in Sydney it would. That one there, it would be about 1880, 1890, before 1900 anyway, because it was there before my great-grandfather. There are a few skins around a few of the sheds. A few of the snakes are just starting to pop out now. I haven't seen any on the property, just a few on the road. Yeah. All right. So that's what that project was about. And I just want to quickly get onto this, just in case people are on that want to know about this, and then they might go to bed or whatever, being a Monday night. So on the 27th to the 29th of September, so that is next month, just over a month basically today, this week, we're having a camp up. It is Newcastle Hunter Camping, but anyone is welcome. We just called it Newcastle Hunter because, a bit like Harvey Bay, we've got a big group of people here from the same sort of area. And it was funny, a lot of us were actually camped quite close together at the Legends event. So I've been talking to Wixie, Mark, Lavelle and Rochi about this, and a few of the others, obviously, who are in the chat as well, and some who aren't, who will be going to the event, hopefully. You have to ring to book. You can't book online. Most of the time they close by 5 p.m, but sometimes you can get them a little bit later. All you have to do is just quote Newcastle Hunter Camping Group. That's just a name I put on for booking's sake, just so they can try and keep us together. They said they've got about 5 or 6 sites left, but on each site you can fit 4 vans, they said, and I'll show you one of those sites in a moment. So if for some reason it gets booked out, there's not a lot I can do about it unless you want to stay somewhere else, or there might be a few of us that can squeeze up a bit closer. But obviously, it's not like I've gone on and said, all right, we're having all 5 sites, because I don't know. A lot of people express interest, but some people may not go. So you've just got to ring, book. They'll try and keep us all together as much as possible. But obviously, people from the public can be booking as well. And if it books out, there's nothing I can do about that. It's at Gresford. It's about 2 k's south out of town. A lot of people who probably are going would know where Gresford is or have been there before. So the best piece of advice I've got is, if you definitely think you're going, book as soon as possible, just in case it does book out, because that is the first weekend of the school holidays. So I reckon it's probably going to be a pretty popular spot. Unfortunately, no powered sites because they're already booked out. Don't have to worry about firewood if you don't want to. The boys and I will be bringing enough. I know that Newy Joe already said that he's got a few that he's going to bring too, which is great. What else do I have to tell you? If you want to stay longer, either way, you can. This is just It's not an event. It's just people going together camping, just sitting around having a chat. Whether we might do a little drive somewhere, who knows? It's not like a organized thing. You just do your own thing, but we'll be sitting around having a good time. Got a number. Okay, let me just I'll put it in the chat, and then I might also put it up. Oh gosh, just give me a moment. 407 389 420, but I'll put it on that post anyway, Nikki. And I'll just quickly put the website there too. I've never been to this one before. I've been around that area, but never to this one. So hopefully it's good. Yeah, all good, Terry. It's honestly like if people make it, they make it. If not, that's cool. We're going to be doing more camp outs. Hopefully every couple, maybe like every 3 months, give or take a bit, we'll be doing a camp. We've made this one as close and central as possible for where I thought everyone would be around that Newcastle Hunter area. And then there'll be more. We've been looking up the coast as well a little bit. But we'll just go one at a time. All right. It cost me $16.50 a night. Yeah, they have firewood for $12, but you know we're taking firewood anyway. You don't have to worry about that. They've got fire pits, concrete ones. I imagine they're similar to what was at the Legends one. You can have a foldable camp oven as long as it's on that concrete pad, but that's up to you what you want to do there. Yeah, as I said, we're already talking about a spot up the coast. We started looking as well. We might be able to make it, just not yet. Yeah, and it is very soon after the Legends event. There's a few people in particular why I wanted to do this so soon, for them to catch up again or meet up. That's why we're doing it. And that's really good weather at the end of September. It's not, you can still have a fire without it being too hot or anything. Hey, where is he? Must have missed you earlier. Hey, Mr. Turtle. And if you want to come for just the day or a night or whatever, it's completely up to you. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Wixie, Rochi, Mark Lavelle and I are sort of organising this one. And I've been talking to a few of the other people as well, who will be coming. Yeah, it's pretty warm here at the moment. They reckon we're going to have a bit more of a cold snap at some point. Not as cold as what it was, though. But this is great weather. It's definitely still good to be around a campfire, but it's not too cold. All right. I'm sure there's other information, but probably best to ask a question. If you want to ask me a question, can you just tag me in the YouTube chat so it pops up so I see it? Otherwise, I probably won't notice it. All right. Apparently you get Telstra reception there, but it's a bit hit and miss. All right. Well, I think after talking at the Legends event, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Really getting people together and just camping. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. But we're going to have more little ones like this, and that way, just a way of keeping the community together and catching up with each other. And like it was good seeing Nathan Schilling try and organise some up that Ipswich sort of way. And if we can, we'll get up there as well. Yeah, I'm hoping to do a drive over there one weekend because it's not that far away. Just have a look. But yeah, it looks like it'll be good. I've got a couple of photos here to show you the sites. All right, let me just zoom in a bit more. So this is an aerial shot of the campground. You can see there's the Allen River. Those people that don't know, the Allen River is a pretty decent river. It goes into the Dungog area and parts of Barrington, I would think, if it's going into Dungog. So this is the campground. I don't know how full that is, but you get a bit of an idea of where the sites are, and that you can group together or you can be a bit separate. That is one site. So you can see how, well, could be 1.5, I don't know, but that's what they mean by you can get 4 caravans on a site. So when you ring and book, it's not like you're booking a site as such, I don't think, because they're going to be putting us together. How that's going to work out, who actually camps where, because we might end up with 3 sites. How people, I don't know that yet. I'll probably wait until a week out, and then I'll ring and say, all right, how many people have booked? All right, then we can work out how many sites and a few other things about it as well. Yeah, they are really large sites. Unfortunately, Nikki, I asked about the amenities, and we can't get that close. The sites that are close to it are already booked, so they said it'd be about 100 meters. They said you're more than welcome to drive to and from, but yeah, I couldn't do anything about that. I'm really sorry. Will Roach and I fit our teardrop swags, you reckon? You might have to bunk up and share. But yeah, no, it looks like a good spot just from a couple of photos, and the website's on there. I put up if you want to go and have a look. And if you're someone maybe who's around that area, and it doesn't have to be Newcastle Hunter, you might have some good spots in mind as well. And you might want to do a camp up and organise that. Don't think that it's got to be certain people organising this, and regardless, excuse me, whether you have YouTube or not, you can organise something. So if you think you want to go and organise a camping trip, do it. I know that's how Roachy, I met Wixie at Harvey Bay. Roachy was there, but Wixie and I didn't meet him. But that's how us 3 met, it was just on a random camp up. Who wants to go? All right, on Facebook. And then we met Mark Lavelle through the YouTube chats. I did a couple of calls with him. And then he came along to a camping event, and he fits right in. Everyone fits right in. So just get out there, and best way to do it. And if you can only go for one night, go for one night. There's no pressure. I haven't seen anyone tag any comments or asking any questions, so I'm assuming we're all good. So yeah, I just wanted to, one of the main reasons I wanted this to happen, so this was our last camping event, and we only went for one night, which wasn't enough. We decided we definitely need to do 2 nights, because that way you got a day of drive, a full day of camping, and then you can go after that. And we had a really good time. We were really bummed that we didn't get longer. So we're like, well, the next one has to be longer. Hey, Naz, how you going? I don't know why I asked how you going. Well, I guess you can comment back. Can't say. Anyway, another reason I really wanted this event to happen, or this camping that's coming up really soon. Roachy and Mark Lavelle, the 2 on the left, they couldn't make it for certain reasons, and they were super bummed that they couldn't make it. And Wixie and I had a really good time at the camp up at Legends, but we also felt extremely guilty that those 2 couldn't be there with us. So I'm really looking forward to them coming to this one, and they get to meet a lot of the special people from around our area, and a few from further away. Some that they've spoken to in the chat, some they've done a video chat with, but I don't think there'd be many that they've really met in person. And I'm really looking forward to them getting that opportunity, which they unfortunately missed out on. Thanks. Oh, love the shirt. They're all really good shirts. At the event, I changed every day or twice a day. They're all really comfy shirts. I like those type of shirts. But Terry, I really like even if you could buy that one as a gift and give to someone, even if they didn't watch YouTube, it's just really nice. So yeah, comfy fit, that one. It's funny, I like wearing them around the house and at the paddock and all that, but I don't want to ruin them at the same time. Yeah, and a few people have said that, Jack. Like, oh, I really want to make it. I'm not sure if I can. Honestly, don't stress if you can't, because it is just after the last one. We will be doing a lot more of these, and other people will be doing a lot more. You've got Nathan Schilling, who will be organising some, and I bet you more people start doing that, which I think is a really good thing. Because I know a lot of us struggled for 2 years waiting for this next one. Let me see. That was the end of the photos that I had. Just put Scruffer Cam, see what they're up to. They're still asleep. I don't remember if there's really anything else that I want to talk about. That was the main thing. If you've got any questions, please put it in. I'm just going to actually spend a bit of time reading these comments now. Thanks, Lenny. Love wearing the buckaroo shirts and can't wait to start wearing the Gidgee. Yeah, so I held off from getting the Gidgee stuff only because I'm still trying to lose a bit of weight. And I want to, before I order any more, just make sure I get the right size. I saw, I like the ones with the gorilla and everything on it too, but I really like the plain, like the short ones and just the little Gidgee logo. I think they're the ones I'm going to order. Minister for Heating and Eating. Oh, that actually reminds me. So just with the camp coming up, so everyone fends for themselves as far as food and drinks and everything. Firewood will be supplied. And I think we're going to do on the Saturday afternoon, Rochi, Wixie, Mark, and myself will be doing a little, like a taster cook-up. So we'll be each cooking something up that's like an entree type thing, but there'll be 4 lots of it. So you'll be able to eat a bit of that, whether we tell you what it is beforehand or not. So you still have your own food for dinner that night if you want, but you'll probably get pretty full on what we'll be providing as well. Yeah, so I'll be looking at getting some Gidgee stuff, I think, in the next lot. See, a lot of people here, this is the best thing I reckon about a live feed. It's not about the person who's on, it's about people just getting in the chat. Now, I do have a question. I'm not going to write this up like a poll type thing, though. But I was watching some videos on the weekend because the weather was shit house. And I want you to think, what do you think Buck says the most as a statement or a phrase in his videos besides "this is Buck in far north Queensland"? And I want you to quickly type that out. I've got a couple that stick in my mind, and I think most of them are probably from his older videos. But I just want you for a couple moments there, if you watch Buck, put in some of the words or phrases, sayings, whether it's slang, that he might say in his videos. And then I'll give you a moment, and then I'll tell you what some of the ones that I think of. Swap that around. Mexicans. Yes, that is definitely one they could say a lot. Diddly donks. BB is shit. Sticks like shit to a blanket. That one is in there a lot. Dead set. Absolutely fantastic. If I had a drink every time someone said absolutely fantastic, I wouldn't get a minute into a video. Rafa, yeah. Roz has just gone to the shop, so I thought. I watched the one the other day where they was with the Jehovah's Witness, and Buck's doing his cook up, and he's having the last Roz is out here hiding from the Jehovah's Witness. And is it Jamil? No, Jamil? Sorry if I got the name wrong. Yeah, out the front to talk to him. That was hilarious. That thing. Don't tell Roz. Actually, I didn't think of that one. You're pretty spot on there, I reckon, Greg. Don't tell Roz. Especially a few of his older ones when he was always talking about the Cowboys. Heck, every week, Cowboys are shit. You think they're winning and they just throw it away. Yes, usually on a Sunday, just doing a sneaky live feed, and I'm going to keep it under an hour. I reckon he'd say that. Or for Chino. There's some really good ones. The Cowboys are shit. You can't beat two eggs together. That stuff. Cowboys just grabbed defeat from the jaws of victory, just like Parrot. Yes, you're on it again, I reckon. Filthy cockroaches. I actually reckon that I have a few that stick in my mind. Whether they're in many videos, I don't know. It's a bit Piccadilly. A couple of videos I watched the other day didn't say it, but yeah, that's one that stuck in my brain. A bit Piccadilly. And what's the name of that plane? Because if it's not that, just as I do a video, someone starts their mower up or something, and if it's not that, it's the whatever the plane is that stewed bombs, something bomber, something like that, comes in. And Stuka bomber, that's it. VB is good for cleaning my drains. And the other one, I reckon he says a lot, which cracks me up, is usually when he's doing a damper. I wonder if you guys, Stuka dive bomber, can you guys guess what he says a lot when he is doing a damper? Dogs are just switched. What did I be thinking of when he gets the damper out? He says that one a lot. There's a few others that he says, he uses that when he's talking about other things too. How does he test his damper? He did this one he did it the other day, but I don't think he actually said it. Surely you guys know, because he said this one heaps. You're right there taking Archie's bed. Just wanted to be looking straight at the camera. StreamYard's a little bit behind. Yeah, give it a tap, yeah. But how do you know it's good though? Don't need the shit out of it. Tap it. Yeah. They're pretty cool to have around. Oh, yep. Bit of a hollow thump or a dull thud, that's it. Just give it a tap, dull thud, which sounds a bit like, if it's got a dull thud, it sounds a little bit like what? I also love Rafa's he's putting on too much weight. Need to put him on diet. Oh, here's a bit for Rafa. Here's a bit for Rafa. Surely we could get this one. Yeah, that's a double pause up from my little mate tonight. I used to love the pie reviews, and Rafa's there. Yeah, there we go. Who would have thought it? He got it himself. Dull thud, like when you hit me in the head. Without fail, whenever it's a damper or something like that, you predict it. There's some really good sayings that you get from actually, so the reason I put up that poll earlier about the camping. What are you doing over there? Come on. I just won. I'll have both of you. The reason I put up that poll before, that's my mouth, is Buck said because he was bringing the swag for Gidgee, he said that because did you say that Gidgee doesn't go camping? I think Buck. And I just thought, I wonder whether you guys grew up camping or not. And so that's why I thought of that post, because you'd meet a lot of people. Like, I don't know, I just always assume people that go camping later in life grew up going camping. But you meet a lot of people that only just start camping much later. No, Gidgee isn't a camper, and we didn't camp as kids. That is really interesting. So one of the things I'd like to do, and is I said earlier, I'd like to start interviewing a few people from the community, this community, the Legends, but whatever you want to call it, community, and just to ask you a few questions. I guess a little bit like Pete from WA Camping, but they just won't go as long. It won't be anywhere near as professional as what he does. Just so I find it interesting listening to other people and how they, like, for example, how Buck's saying there that he got into camping from the army. Oh, no, sorry. I started camping in the army and they took all the fun out of it. Oh, my bad. But just little things like, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, well, what was it that got you and Gidgee going into the army? Things like that. Because a lot of people, like, for example, with me with teaching, most people that are into teaching have a family member in teaching. I've got no one in my family teaching. So things like that, I'd like to know a bit more about. You know, you've got things such as Wixie. A lot of people probably don't really know how good of a cook he is. And the stuff that, like, when he does a cook-up, usually most weekends, it's not just something really basic. It's top quality shit. And then Mark Lavelle's got which I think is an interesting story about his boat project at the moment. Girl Guide. There seems to be, I think they died off a bit, the Girl Guides and the Scouts, but they're starting to come back around now. You love fishing at 10. Who doesn't? Our grandfather was a light horseman in World War One. Even I'm not huge on war history, but there's still a lot of it that I find really interesting. We had, because my surname's German, but we had a lot of the family come over here in the 1850s. But during World War II, would have been World War One as well. We had family members die on both sides. Things like that I find interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, he could run a restaurant. And the other thing too, what I was saying to this person who I'm hoping to have as a guest on Friday, is that if you don't feel comfortable doing a video, you can always do exactly like this, but just don't have the video part, just have the microphone, you just put a picture up. And a little bit like how I was sharing pictures before, I'd love for people to come on and share a few photos and things. Could do videos and that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, Brett Hooker still works with Scouts. One thing I kind of wish I did as a kid, a lot of good skills in it. Yes, because Scouts open up to girls and Scouts have more fun. Greg Campbell's saying that he got into camp cooking after the 2007 Passion Polka storm in Newcastle. All those sort of things. I want to get into a lot more camp cooking. But I tell you what, like I'd love for you guys to see Wixie go. He's unreal. Mark Lavelle's a pretty good cook too, mainly because he usually either is drinking Guinness or adding Guinness to it. That's the one photo I forgot to put up. Those people who are coming to the Newcastle Hunter Camp on Allen, I bought a slab of Guinness the other day, and I'll be taking the majority of it with me there so people can have one if they would like to. And like people said before, if you forgot to pack some food, we'll just have a Guinness anyway. It counts as a meal. Yeah, left after 30 years. It's something that I'm constantly thinking about. My biggest issue is if I go, what do I do? And if I go, there's like, this isn't sounding up myself, but there's no one to replace me because we're losing teachers all the time. So if I go, The same with a lot of other teachers. If they go, there goes that subject, basically. Well, the kids don't get to do as much because I'm doing the practical subjects. Well, then they get a lot more theory, don't they, instead of practical. So it's a tricky one. Came here in the 1850s, they were being persecuted in Germany. Mum's family has German identity. Interesting, the Hewen, is that how you say it? I've worked with a few people of that surname. I don't know their background though. Terry saying here that he did Boys Brigade and then was a scout leader. It's really cool. Rob saying he went to Cubs and Scouts. See, those sort of things, I'd love to know more about that. So if anyone here wants to do an interview thing like that, I only want to really do one-on-one though, because when you start having more people, then you lose a little bit. Someone doesn't get as much say, or you get delays and stuff with the digital side of things. Do some cook-ups with Wixie, mate, so we can see. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm going to leave that one to him, to whether he feels comfortable doing that. The other thing I was going to say too, this camp in Newcastle, Hunter, the Resford one, we won't be doing YouTube videos or anything like that. We'll take some photos. We might put a little video on Facebook. That's it. It's just about getting together and enjoying each other's company. If you can't teach, you could always do consulting. Sometimes with teaching, it feels like you're doing lots of jobs. I was 6 years primary school, and now I'm in my third year teaching industrial arts. Learning as I go. Hey Phil, good to see you on. Hopefully you've had better luck with your setting up your camper trailer than we did with setting up that tent. As I said, I'm not dirty about it. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. A lot of people here saying hey to Phil, which is awesome. Lukey's still there. Sorry, Luke. I must have missed it before. Can you please just say again where you're up to? Whether you're back in the good state or not. Richard here saying that his family live in Bulladila and we camped at Mungo Brush all the time. Mungo Brush and is around the Mile Lakes. Is Mungo Brush the one near Hawk's Nest? When you go from there, north of Tea Gardens. It's got a few different names, but basically, yes, it is the new. So I mainly teach timber or woodwork. I teach a bit of metal, a little bit of engineering, a bit of design and technology. I also teach with junior technology. It can be anything from cooking in the kitchen to doing coding, which I absolutely love. And then the majority of my other time is actually in special needs. So I've got a few classes over there that I teach them as well, which is interesting. It's not for everyone, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, a lot of people saying Mungo Brush is a good spot. See, even that would be a great story, you know. I love listening to the stories that used to say about motorbikes and everything. Melbourne, almost there. You could pretty much see it. River Camp is also a great place. Not sure where River Camp is. I know there's Riverwood Downs, which is a really good place. A bit expensive and small site, but it's really good. Buck saying g'day to the maniac there. Yeah, so there's lots of places that would be great to get out and see a little bit more. And that's one thing I really want to do at this next camping trip is start talking to people a bit more about, you know, well, where are some good spots? The one thing I don't particularly love camping is at lakes and dams because it's hard to get a level site. It's usually a fair walk to amenities. You've got no protection from the weather, and that's when you get dickheads, from my experience. But yes, you probably are right that Lake Liddell is a bit different. It gets a bit of a different crowd. I nearly reckon Buck would enjoy fishing there. You can eat what you catch there. Water skiers. So we'd have to throw the tent in the boat and camp beside the dam. I reckon if you've got a boat, that's where dams would be good. But if you just want to do camping, dams are not so good. Oh, thanks. I get a lot out of it. It can be extremely frustrating, and you can go in one day and everything will be fine. You can go in the next day and you've just got to throw your plans out the window. But the thing, I teach a few different subjects in special needs, and one of the ones I'm doing at the moment is just ag, basically. And we'll go out each day, look at the rabbits, weigh the chickens, and we usually just go and feed the animals. And it's funny that if there's problems going on in their lives or in the classroom, drama and all that sort of stuff, as soon as we get out and we feed the animals, especially the crazy goat, they're instantly happy. Get them out of the room, out the back where it's quiet in the farm, and just feeding the animals. It's actually as simple as that. And most of the time, that's when they're at their happiest. And they're not on their phones. Like every now and then we might take a photo. Like, oh, can I get a photo with the goat so I can send it to my mum? Like, sure. Because they're not sitting there and playing games on their phone. I don't mind that. It's showing them having fun and enjoyment. And for a lot of kids who are in special needs, like you can go into special needs for lots of different reasons. And some of them is basically just trauma, really bad upbringings. So they're the kids that I like seeing that really happy out with the animals. And you can see as well that, like for a lot of people, dealing with other people is frustrating, and I get that. So when you're just dealing with animals, you can relax a bit. You don't have to stress about everything. Isn't that right, Archie? Yeah. Yeah. Buck will catch a 3-headed calf at Liddell. I reckon there must be some people that still try it. Oh, surely people don't eat them. Yamba Aluka. I went to Yamba for the first time last year. Can't remember where. Didn't stay there. Stayed near there. Went into Yamba, had a look at them around to Iluka, and yeah, it's quite nice, especially because it's quite cliffy there, Yamba, when you're looking down onto the beach and everything. Probably my favourite place on the coast is still around Old Bar, Harrington Way. I do like Foster Tuncurry. It's just a little bit busy for my liking. But yeah, Old Bar, Harrington, Manning Point, they would be my pick. They're getting busy too, but they're still a bit quiet. It's all about getting to know the kids and making them feel safe and build connections. Yeah, definitely. And the other thing I found too, because I learn a lot from these kids, that if they've got a problem, don't ask them about it. Just talk about something else. Put music on, play a game of cards, like or whatever. And if they want to talk about it, they'll talk about it. And that's not that I have kids, but that's a good parenting tactic too. If you want them to chat, car trips are the best. The other one is just, even if you're just doing a bit of housework or whatever, you don't even have to start talking or whatever. A bit of music in the background, they'll talk if they want. Yeah, a few people there liked Iluka. As I said, I only went there briefly and went to the Lakeway burger, fish and chips place. Awesome. Well, I'm probably going to start to wrap it up because it is a Monday and I've gone over the hour. Thank you for everyone who's joined in. If you've got any questions about the upcoming camping trip, whether you want to come along or whatever, feel free to go on to the Legends page. It's on there. You can send me a message. I know there's a few people that aren't on Facebook. And I've got their mobile number, so there's ways to reach out. If you want me to contact you, maybe you don't have Facebook, we can work something out in the chat. But yeah, so it's about a month away. There's probably a couple other things still to work out, but yeah, it's going to be really good, and I'm really looking forward to Rochi and Mark Lavelle catching up with all these great people that will be coming. And there's one other person in that group in particular that I'm really glad that they're coming to this. They were at the Legends one, and those, a lot of people would already know probably who I'm referring to. It was really good for him and his son to be there, and I'm really looking forward to him catching up with all these people again. Yeah, slowly getting there. I've got a few more video things I would like to do, but the weather's stopped me this year. I had a few things I wanted to go and film, but the weather's just been terrible every weekend. Even this weekend, the weather's crap. But mostly my stuff's just Land Rover or whatever, and then my live feeds is about getting in touch with people in the community, which is really good. The other thing too is if you want to join in for a live feed one night, or you want to do a bit of an interview style thing, let me know. We can do a practice run beforehand through StreamYard, which is free. You can jump in, you can have a chat just like I am now without being live. And if you want afterwards, I can delete them too, so they're not up there. Yeah. You're going to try and make it, Terry. Yeah. As I said, we're hoping to do one more before the year is out. It'd have to be no later than probably third week in November, because then you're into the whole Christmas side of things. And then we've got a men's Inner Man Adventures one coming up that Rochi's organised January next year. And then we'll probably be looking March-ish time, late February, early March, depending on the weather, for doing the next one. We'll hopefully do a real good coastal one soon too. The weather's awesome down here. It's always good down here. That's why I've still got this on. It's still quite cold, but at least I can go out in the sunshine without getting sunburnt. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for jumping in. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed at least talking to each other in the chat. And as I said, I'm going to hopefully have one on Friday with a special guest. And if you want to join in, let me know. Keep an eye out on that page, the post where I was putting information up about the Newcastle Hunter one. I'm going to put a few things up there tonight. And if you want to come, please book as soon as possible, just so we can guarantee those sites, because if it books out, there's nothing I can do about it. Cool. All right. Thank you very much, all you legends. Stay safe. Enjoy your week. And I'll see you all again soon, either in camera or in the chat. But definitely, I'm enjoying seeing all the Facebook posts and things going up on the Legends page. Really good. All right. Thanks, guys. See ya. You want to say goodnight? You want a Scooby snack? All right. Let's get a Scooby snack.